Well, we are going to get going again. If we haven't met yet, my name's Sarah. I am doing ops and partnerships and different little things helping Ollie get to Senja 2.0. You've probably seen me do office hours. We did a really cool webinar last week, but Ollie and I had this really great idea to really just kick off these town halls and give you guys a curated space to know about everything that's going on at Senja on a quarter-to-quarter basis. So Ollie is here. If you haven't had a chance to say hi or follow him online, he's the founder of Senja, the brilliant mind behind this incredible tool that we love. And he's going to run today's call. So for those of you kind of just popping in, please know that any questions that you have, we're going to drop them into the chat. We've got time at the end for Q&A. So without further ado, Ollie, take it on.
Okay, well, first of all, hello everyone, and thanks for joining. This is the first town hall, or certainly in this form, and it is something that we want to continue doing, as Sarah said, and think of it as refining over time. So hopefully it's very useful and enjoyable today, but I'm particularly keen to hear from people about their thoughts and feelings, understand their questions, and just continue doing this. So we're creating this together, and I really appreciate people taking time to be here. Next slide, please.
Awesome.
So just a question or questions for people here. I would love to know who here is currently using Senja, if you're a free user, a paying user, or you haven't yet used Senja at all. This is just so that I can frame what I talk about in that way. This call will not have any sales on it or anything like that, but I am curious to know who's here. And the other thing is, please do share what you're using Senja to sell more of. So is it more courses? Is it more coaching? Is it SaaS products or books? So just feel free to share what you would like to use Senja for, or how you're using Senja. And you can also just share a fun fact or whatever else. If you are feeling that energy, you can put that into the chat. So on my side, I am currently in London, but for those that don't know, I am nomadic. So earlier this year, I did get to meet Sarah in person in Austin. And since then, I've been traveling around. So that's like a little fun fact from me, but please just feel free to share in the chat. This whole, let's call it this town hall is a collaboration between us. It's not, I'm not here to broadcast. I do want to have a chat. So, okay, this is great. Some interesting things coming in. So coaching and digital products and courses. Annie, yes. Hello, Annie. Lovely to see you, hear from you. Okay, so in Mexico, there's a lot of distrust of e-commerce. We have integrated Senja into our custom-built e-commerce. Beautiful, love that. And that's one of the things about Senja is there are so many different ways it can be used for different, well, depending on your industry or what you're trying to sell more of. And it's something that I'm trying to facilitate, which is educating people on how best to use Senja, regardless of what you're selling. So lovely to meet you all. And like Sarah said, there's definitely going to be time for questions. This is not a broadcast. This is more like a conversation. Lots of paid customers in here. I do really appreciate it if you're paying to use the product. Everyone is equally valid, free or paid, but I do appreciate the support. Okay, let's move on. So I just wanted to share a couple of thoughts. The first thing is that I wanted to share with you how I think about Senja at this moment in time. So we're living in a world where everyone is able to produce lead magnets, courses, and content in seconds. And we've got some amazing customers. And recently I met a lot of them at the KIT conference. And what I was hearing time and time again is that they are spending a lot of time crafting their offer, their product, their service, their business. And they are now competing with people who are basically making shoddy offers in seconds. And so what my takeaway from that is that if you are in a situation where you are working hard in your business to serve customers well, delight customers, build a better product, you need to be collecting the evidence to prove that. I really love to hear when someone's really proud of what they've built, their product, their offer, their service, that they're using Senja to actually collect that evidence and stand out. So we're moving into a world where people can fake everything. And what I want to advise people to do is become more real, to be more authentic, to collect more evidence, to collect more proof of what makes you great, and use that to make more money. I want people who are building and crafting great things to make loads of cash, and people who are using AI to create slop to make no cash. So this is kind of my vision for the usage of Senja. So this is something I shared recently in a newsletter, and lots of people were really interested in my thinking here. But basically, do not spend weeks or years crafting your business, crafting your policies and your practices, and then not collecting the evidence that proves that you're amazing. So that's something I just wanted to share as an opening thought. Let's really just double down on being authentic, proving what makes this great, sharing real customer stories, centering customers in marketing. This is something I would love people to take away from today's call, is that if you're working hard to build a business, Senja is going to help you collect the stories and the evidence to prove that. And just having a look through a lot of what our customers are doing with Senja, it really brings me a lot of joy to see people collecting these amazing stories. So do more of it. And I'm going to show you how. The next thing is to say hi to Sarah, because I obviously have been working with Sarah on and off recently, but definitely more on than off. And Sarah has been doing some amazing things behind the scenes and some amazing things with you folks already. So this is just part of Senja growing up, part of Senja continuing to dial into what makes it awesome, part of us wanting to educate more customers how to use Senja to really stand out and make more money. So thank you to Sarah for coming along for the journey. And would you like to say anything?
I mean, I think that covers it. I mean, I've been a huge fan of Senja since the beginning, and it's really cool to be a part of a product and of a team that is so passionate about the work that they do. And I think that from a creator perspective, from a consultant perspective, kind of whatever work you guys are doing, it's always inspiring to be using a product that actually cares about you. And I'm not saying that from like a sales perspective or anything really, but it's like I am getting a front row seat to how much Ollie cares about Senja and about helping you. And it's just so cool to see. So like I've said, in office hours and different things, anything that you guys need to help you use Senja more. If you're not an affiliate, please sign up. I've got a QR code at the last slide. We also have social media that was asked just now in the chat. Twitter, Ollie does a lot of build in public on his own personal accounts. So those are really great to follow as well. But I'm here for anything that you guys need. All you have to do is email me, partners@senja.io. And I'm happy to pop in anytime and give you guys some guidance. So that is it from me.
Awesome. I've just shared my LinkedIn on the chat, and the reason is Senja is a build in public business. Some of you will be familiar. We share a lot of insights into what is going on, some of the financials, some of the challenges. I try to be as authentic as possible and share the story of Senja with you folks. And if you've got thick skin and you like an inside look on what goes on day to day at SAS, then you should definitely connect with me and you can see what we're up to. I'm also doing the same on Twitter, and Sarah is also building parts of what she's doing with us in public too, which is amazing. So if you're interested in behind the scenes of reworking the affiliate scheme, definitely check that out as well. And Sarah, I guess you could put the link to your YouTube channel in the chat.
Yeah, I can tag it.
Okay, so next up, I just wanted to share some news, which is that my original co-founder, Wilson, is actually leaving Senja. We have shared this before, And basically, I have worked with Wilson from day one. It's been an amazing working relationship, and we built this business over the last few years from nothing to 2,500 paying customers. We're extremely proud of that. But for Wilson, I think for a while he's wanted to work on different types of challenges. So when we refer to Senja 2.0, in the nicest sense, it's this version of Senja where I am now the founder. I mean, I guess I'm still the co-founder and he'll always be part of the business in its DNA. But I have decided to keep growing Senja, to keep pushing it to be more helpful and useful to customers. And yeah, that is if I'm totally frank, like a difficult period for me because I'm adjusting to this new responsibility and this new type of ownership. But it's also a great opportunity for the business to continue to build brilliant products that help our awesome customers do well. So this is quite tightly tied to Build in Public. If you followed the Build in Public aspects of the business, you would know about this. But if not, I'm sharing that with you. And I'm so glad that Sarah is along for the ride with me so that I've got at least someone I can call. I'm actually really excited about the future of the business. Of course, I would say that, but I can tell you that is really true, even though this period of change has been challenging. So how am I handling the change? Well, one thing is that we really want to focus Senja on continuing, I would say, to craft a really great product. But we are considering, or I have decided, it's an I now, not a we, I suppose, but Sarah's definitely in this too. I'm bringing you into everything, right? So we've decided to go slightly slower on product. So the reason is there are so many amazing features and tools and aspects to Senja that people are just not currently using, or we're not doing a very good job on sharing and educating on. And our decision is to get Senja working as well as possible, as few bugs as possible, as easy and intuitive as possible, and spend as much more effort on educating you folks on how to get more out of Senja. That's how to use the tool itself and how to use the things that you create in Senja to drive more sales. So the plan is to spend more time educating, doing things like this, and less time just relentlessly shipping. And if you have followed Senja for a while, you will see or understand why that seems logical, because we have gone for a period of just shipping endless new features. And it almost is at a point where people are like, stop shipping, So we want to have the most powerful suite of tools for our customers, but we also want to make sure that we're giving and creating space for people to actually learn how to use those tools to make more money. Does anyone have any questions about those updates? I'm more than happy to answer now, or we can pick this up at the end. But generally, that just sets the tone for where we're at right now. And I will actually be sharing a couple of new features that are coming. So there are still some features coming through, and I think you're going to really, really like them. But I would also love to get your feedback on that. So I don't see any questions yet, but if you have a question, please put it in the chat and I'll reply. If not, I can dive straight into sharing some of these features with you.
Also, you guys can do the hand raise in Google Meet. If you do want to unmute and ask a question, you're more than welcome to do that. The little hand raise icon is next to the end, like leave call button, if you can't find it. So feel free to do that at any point instead of typing out a long question if you need to.
Okay, so let's go over to some of these product updates. What I want to share with you is that some of these are live and some of these are in progress. So I would absolutely love to hear feedback on these things during this call. Just leave your comments. What we're trying to do is make sure the things we launch are thoughtful, helpful, intuitive, work with your use cases. So if something immediately occurs to you, please share it so that I can make sure that when it is launched or soon after, we have amended or adjusted or tweaked it. So let's just tell you some of these things at the highest level, and then I'll walk you through them. So I'll run through the list first. So number one, this is a really cool thing, especially if you're collecting video testimonials. They're all cool, but I love this one. So with this tool, the Magic Video Maker, you're going to be able to select a series of video testimonials. You're going to be able to select a platform like Instagram, LinkedIn, X, or your landing page, and you're going to be able to generate a quick sizzle reel or remix video of those testimonials. So I'm going to walk you through this, but this really is amazing. There's no editing. You don't need to get into Veed or anything like that. You can just pick your video testimonials. You can direct the clip, and you can make a really amazing video. This is in beta currently. It is live in accounts, but it does have some bugs and quirks which we're working on and fixing. So I will run you through that today, and it really is amazing. We actually heard from some people that they're using an agency to make videos like this, and they're paying $100, $200 a video. We're just adding this to your account for free. You'll be able to generate up to 5 videos a month for free. And it's included in all tiers. One thing to note with that is you do want to have video testimonials for this, and I'll talk about that a bit more today. Next up, we've got the ability to turn a testimonial into a case study. So I met so many people who are doing case studies, and they're doing this once a year, and they're collecting 3 to 4 case studies. With our new AI case study generator, you can turn a multi-step testimonial into a case study in seconds. And I will walk you through how that works. We've also got a new form flow. It's interesting how I said we're not shipping much, and then we got this large list. But these are some amazing features that we can't wait to share. So we've got this new form flow, and this form flow is really going to help you get more video testimonials, prove that you're amazing, get richer types of testimonials from customers. And it uses a lot of what we've learned at Senja about collecting testimonials and makes it available to you folks. And then we have 2 new integrations, one with PostBridge and one with Publer. Those are social scheduling tools, and your video clips that you have collected in Senja will now be available to load directly within those platforms. So you can basically share them immediately from those social scheduling tools. This is also really amazing and feels awesome to see like Senja inside these products, honestly. Yeah. So what I will do is the order is going to be a little bit strange, because I'd like to show you the integration with Publer first, because it's nice and simple. And I would love to hear if anyone's using a social scheduling tool currently that they would like to see Senja inside. So let me show you how it works with Publer, because that will make it a bit more clear. But do share in the chat if you're using a social scheduling tool. Let me show you how it works with Publer. So I'm just going to share my screen, I presume.
Yep, go for it.
Yeah. Okay. So let me know if that has worked.
Yep, we can see you.
Okay, so this is Publer, which is a really cool social scheduling tool. And what we wanted to do was ensure that if you are collecting video clips from customers, you are able to share them very quickly onto your social platforms. Now, we're not just trying to share basic testimonials like, I love it, it's amazing. What we're looking to do is share real stories about results customers are having, or challenges they had, or where they switched from, things that we can kind of editorialize and enrich as we share them onto social posts. So we're not just looking for something simple. We're going to find a clip and a cool angle and share it onto socials. If you're just scheduling a series of inane testimonial posts, you will not drive engagement or rich conversations. This is why we're going to use the multi-step form, and we're going to collect much richer and more interesting testimonials. But anyway, here's how it works in Publer. So you're going to be in your account. You're going to hit create, and you are going to click here on clip or drag and drop media. You're going to pick Senja as an import source. If you haven't connected your account, it will ask you to connect. It takes seconds. If you just see here a list of all of your recent video clips. So you can see here, Senja has a lot of customer video clips, an insane amount, in fact. And later on in the video, I'm going to share how we do that. So you're going to click a clip. What was life like before Senja? We're going to select that, and we are going to instantly see this attached within Publer. So we can then schedule this onto different platforms. What we can do is share an insight or a story or an anecdote that ties to this particular clip. So in this case, we might want to talk about common pains or frustrations our customers have, and then share the specific story from that customer. So this is inside Publer, and it's also inside Postbridge. I would love to see it in other tools. Obviously, I'd love to see it in tools like Buffer, Hype Fury. If you're using one of those tools, do feel free to reach out to them. Also, please feel free to share it in the chat, and we will reach out to them too, or just drop me a note and let me know. But I would love to see this ability to add videos in many more places so that you don't have to download, upload, anything like that. You can just click a couple of times and start sharing these stories or scheduling these stories. And this is a really beautiful way to center your customers in your marketing. Bring their stories to your top of funnel and middle of funnel marketing. Anyone like it? Okay, so next up, let me go back to the deck. Sarah, do you mind resharing that? I think what I'm going to show you is how we collect so many video testimonials at Senja. You're probably wondering how we have hundreds and hundreds there. So I just wanted to quickly show you what we do as Senja and then how we're going to make that easier for you folks to do. So in Senja's account, what you will see here is an insane number of video testimonials, and they take the forms of multiple clips. So for each testimonial we receive, we're also getting several clips. Now, a lot of people come to me, it's like, I'm struggling to get video testimonial, and it is more difficult. So I'm going to share how we do it and how we're going to make that easier for you. Can they see my screen? Let me share my screen.
No, it looks like you stopped presenting.
Sure.
So go ahead and try it one more time.
Sure.
There you go.
So
Now we can
this
see it.
is Senja's account, and it is absolutely packed with video testimonials all coming in the last few weeks. So how do I make that happen? I'll tell you. So first of all, you need to ask at the right time. It depends on what you're selling, but for example, with Senja, we send the request 24 hours after an upgrade. So 24 hours after someone upgrades, we will send a request for a testimonial. If you're running a course, you can embed the form inside the course as a lesson. If you are offering support, you can trigger the form to send when someone has a good support experience. If you are writing or offering some sort of download, you might want to trigger it 10 days after the download. The point is, when you ask has a big impact on how many you collect. The next thing is to ask in a very human way. Obviously, we are asking as a person, not as a company. So I am writing to you to ask for a testimonial because it helps me and my business, and not as Senja in this example. So Ollie is asking for a testimonial, not Senja is. And the third thing is to offer a reward or an incentive. And yes, it feels at times maybe a little bit like you're just bribing people, but I can tell you right now that it's the most effective way to generate a big stream. So if you want a meaningful number of testimonials coming in and they're amazing marketing and sales assets, you should use some sort of reward. In our case, we offer a refund on part of the monthly subscription. You can also offer an Amazon voucher, a discount code of some form. The point is to present it in a way where you're asking for an authentic piece of feedback and testimonial. You are not trading positivity for something. You are just using that as an incentive to get them to act. And when you do, you're going to see something like this. The number one issue that people have when collecting testimonials is they just don't feel comfortable asking. And the whole format behind Senja is to just make it nice and easy to send those invites, send those follow-ups, and drive more collection. So how are we making this easier for you? We have a new form flow. So in the existing form flow, you create the form and then you invite people. Now we have a much more structured form flow. And this is on our staging site. So this is not yet live, but I would love to see or hear thoughts. So in this form flow, what you're going to see is multiple steps that just guide you through the end-to-end process of a high-performance testimonial collection campaign. So the first thing is it's going to ask you what reward you want to offer. Of course, you don't have to offer a reward, but it is going to suggest that you do. So we're trying to cultivate a culture of using rewards to customers to act. Next, you're going to be able to do what you previously could, which is edit your form. Do you remember that with Forms V2, you have multiple questions? This is how you're collecting multiple clips. You need to use a Form V2, and you're going to have multiple questions. To be really, or to reveal another function you may have missed, we have hundreds of pre-written questions right here for you. So you don't need to spend hours thinking of what to ask. Pick your category, what you're trying to sell more of. We will share a bunch of questions that will get really interesting responses from customers. Once you've done that, you can go to the form settings, and you can now, or you will be able to customize the invite email and the thank you emails. These are things that before in automations you could not customize. So now you will be able to change up your invite and thank you email. As well as that, if you have offered a reward which uses a code of some form, this can be put in the thank you email. So this will automate sending the thank you and the discount with the acceptance of the testimonial. So they leave the testimonial, they get the discount. It's all automated for you. Finally, we're making it easier than ever to ask at the right time. Using this format, you can automate that invite. You can run a campaign and invite people in, including people already in your account. So you can see we have over 1,000 customers already in our Senja account. We are able to invite any of them to a new form, or you can use the one-off sharing, the manual sharing. So this is the new form flow. And if you've got any thoughts on that, I would love to hear them. But the main thing to remember here is that we're trying to make all of this one streamlined process so that you can just set up your campaign and it's going to start collecting testimonials for you 24/7. Okay. So we go back to the deck. Anyone got any questions there? So Jimmy, I hadn't thought of offering store credit in exchange for a video testimonial. Yes, it will make a massive difference. And of course you want to communicate it in the invite because that will drive more clicks from the invite. Again, I understand how some people are like, oh, it feels a bit odd. What we also do is we send a thank you video, which you can do with the thank you feature on each testimonial. So you can send a video thank you as well. So you're kind of marrying the kind of the incentive and a kind of richer, more human thank you by sending the video. And once you've sent the video using Senja, you can track that you've sent it there. So you can make sure you can see customers that haven't received the thank you video. Yes, there will be a recording. Sorry, yeah, I see that. And yes, thank you, Annie. Glad you like it. So let me show you the video maker next. Now, this is live, but it is quirky. So I'm going to run it and I've got my fingers crossed it's going to work. But I think you're going to love the concept here. even if we've got a few more bugs and refinements to make. So let me go here into proof. This is your area where you're constantly collecting.
Ollie, you'll need to re-screen share.
I see. One moment.
Sorry, we'll get this figured out, guys. It'll be fine next time.
No, I want it to be rough around the edges. I wouldn't like it to be too polished, you know, it wouldn't be part of my brand. Okay, can you see the Magic Maker screen? So you're going to pick a testimonial and you're going to click, sorry, let me go on to the live site where this now is. So you're going to go either here and click Magic Maker, or you can just go into the studio and you're going to see create a magic video. And actually we've never announced this feature, but earlier today I saw someone post it on LinkedIn and that was amazing, because well done them for discovering it. So you're going to get started and we've got a 4-step flow for making videos. Like I said, this replaces potentially thousands of dollars worth of editing time and work using AI when it works. So pick a video length, 45 seconds, and click continue. And you're going to choose some testimonials that are going to be used in this video. So in this case, I will just pick, I think I'll do it manually, and I'm just going to pick a few. And what you've then got is the ability to direct the video. So this is going to look through all of the testimonial transcripts from customers and find sentences and phrases that match the energy of the direction. So this one is a before and after direction. This is one where we're looking for people talking about pains or frustration. This is about outcomes. This is one looking for emotional language. You can also write your own direction here. So talking about this feature or talking about switching from another tool. In other words, you're crafting the video through just a prompt. And here is where it will now upload the testimonials, and it will go through and it will start to create a video. And the idea here is you will not be editing the video. Senja will be making it. You can do some customizations, some design tweaks. You can download it and you can very quickly share it to other places. So this will make subtitles for you. You'll be able to add music. You'll be able to stylize it, and then you'll be able to share it. And you can produce one video or hundreds of videos, probably in minutes. If you've got any questions, of course, you can just ask. But the idea here is to really capture like very human, authentic video and share it with your audience. And this really will help you stand out over people using sort of fake AI avatars or just tonally, just inauthentic sharing. So we're trying to get richer, more real stories. Hopefully this works. So far, so good. So first thing is you can choose the type. So you can switch the size for the platform. You're also able to edit the style of the subtitles, add and remove music, and change up the branding. These are very basic editing functions. We're not trying to make a video editor here. Just to be really clear, we're just trying to help you quickly capture and remix customer stories. So we can add more editing features, but if you really want to deep edit on these types of things, it's better if you download and edit it elsewhere. We don't see ourselves as a video editing tool. We see ourselves as a quick way to make these really great stories regularly to be able to share across your socials. And then what you're going to see is
I'm not sure, Ollie, if you're, oh, you were paused for a second. I don't know if you said anything.
Yeah, can I send the audio? But what you've got here is a series of clips, some music playing, and it's all remixed and ready to share. So I don't know if there's a way for me to share the audio from this, but the audio is obviously playing. it's fun, it's buzzy, and it's all clipped together for you. So no uploading, no making smaller and longer clips. Can you see the video here itself?
Yeah, I can see it playing. I would maybe close your pop-up from Google Meet because it kind of hides the screen. But yeah, it looks like the audio wasn't shared, which is
The idea here is, yeah, look, I'd love it if people went in, had a play with it, worked out what they like about it, send in suggestions for refinements. But generally, that's the concept. I'm not sure with my headphones I can channel the audio through, but you get the idea. And I hope people think that's cool because I really love this feature. Are there any immediate questions on that?
Annie had a question about typos. So if they're with the subtitles on the videos, is there a way to quickly edit them inside Senja? So for instance, if Senja was spelled with an A, and can you fix it in the clip?
Yeah, so basically that is a known bug. You can go to any testimonial, the OG testimonial in the proof section, edit the subtitle there, and that will update the video. So you will have the correct transcripts there. We're also improving how it works so that things like when a customer mentions your brand name, it's going to check your project settings. So it's much less likely that there will be these types of obvious mistakes. But yes, so you absolutely will be able to edit them, disable them. I'm not sure if we can do that currently, but that would be an easy fix. So we'll definitely add that in so you can turn them on or off. Traditionally, why you might have them on is a lot of environments like social posts, they won't play the audio immediately. So the subtitles help like drive engagement and clicks to get the audio. Jimmy's saying you can leave some errors in. Yeah, so I think this is definitely, I'm not encouraging you to leave grammar mistakes in, but I do agree with the ethos, which is that basically we're trying to be real here. So the fact that some people are like looking at the camera like this and some are on their sofa like that is a good thing, because this is how humans communicate. This is not how fake AI avatars communicate. They're very polished and slick. And what we're trying to create is real videos from your customers and make them easy for you to share. I mean, I do think it's really awesome. I don't know what everyone else thinks, but I genuinely think this allows you to add them everywhere in your funnel in a way that feels very rich and very human. And I think this just links back to the fact that we're in a world that just feels less and less human all the time. And what we want is to capture what makes us awesome in the most authentic and rich way. So that is the video maker. And then finally, I will show you the case studies. But just a quick reminder, you need to have video testimonials to use the video maker. And if you want video testimonials, they are harder to collect, but we're making it easier by making it easier to add rewards and making it easier to trigger the form at the most ideal time. It does work. We are collecting hundreds of video clips a month. It is possible. Just make sure you ask at the right time and use the incentive. So finally, let's have a look at the case studies feature. I think that's the last one.
Yep, I think that's it.
So the case study feature works incredibly well if you have the multi-step. And the reason is because you're collecting lots of different framings and it gives the AI a lot more to work with when you're making the case study. Now, this is in version 1 as well, and we will continue to tweak and refine it based on feedback. But what is amazing about this is that once it generates you a case study, it's going to be on that customer record in your Senja account. It's going to be in the Chrome extension. It's going to be available everywhere. So if you've got multiple people on your Senja account, if they're doing social selling over DMs, or if you just want to have everything in one place, you are going to be able to create your case studies with Senja constantly, by the way. So it's not like a cycle of case studies. You're constantly able to create them and you're able to share them at the point where it can help you make more money. So this is V1, bit rough around the edges, like everything. but it does refine with your feedback, which is why it's so important. I mean, that was pretty fast. It created a awesome case study here, and there is the ability to export it as a PDF. So you can share it as a PDF, or it will go into your Senja account, and it is available there for you, your team, to be using in your sales motion if your company is structured like that, or just to add to your website. And just save you a lot of time from compiling them. Buyers love case studies, but I haven't met a lot of people who like creating them. Like I say, the really fun part about this is that you have a multi-step testimonial, which in many ways is like a micro case study. So writing it up as a case study using AI is such a smart thing to do. So those are the new features. We've got integrations with Publer and Postbridge. We've got this amazing video remix thing. It really aligns with my original vision for Senja, which is collect testimonials and actually share them and be sharing them all the time and centering your customers in your marketing, prove that you're awesome, make more money. And then we've got our case study generator. I think that's it, right? Any more things there, Sarah?
Yeah, so Annie had her hand raised a second ago, so I want to make sure that we give you time, Annie, to ask the question that you had. So if you want to unmute or if you want to type in the chat.
We've definitely got time for questions, but in terms of features, I think those are
the
newest things you're going to see.
Yep.
So Jimmy is saying that there was a bug. I downloaded the video. Okay, please reach out and we'll get that fixed. There are lots of quirks in the resizing. Luckily, the way we film with the face pretty center does allow for lots of different sizes, which is really cool because you can share the same video to Instagram and LinkedIn and Instagram stories and onto your main grid or whatever they call it. I haven't used Instagram in a long time, but there's lots of different, thankfully, but there's lots of different ways to share it there. But we'll look into that, Jimmy. So we'll follow up on that. Sorry. Is it Annie? You have a question?
Yes, and hopefully this will be pertinent, but I'm still learning all of this. And when I put in video testimonials, I have the full transcript, and then there's a section where you can pull out the excerpt. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go on.
Okay. So when I pull out the excerpt, like I pull words and I copy and paste them into the excerpt section of the testimonial. Is Magic Maker, when you load that testimonial, is it pulling from the full transcript, or do I need to take the words and put them in the excerpt? And then the second question was, if we need to edit something major, like you'd probably want Senja, capital R spelled correctly, do I make that edit in the transcript or the excerpt section?
I see. Yes. So I think this is a quirk of how editing of transcripts work. It will be in the transcript section, although I'm not sure that's very clear. So we'll get that tidied up for you and we'll let you know. It will then pull that across into it and should be correct at that point. Generally, what I would encourage people to do is at the point the video testimonial arrives is to take a few minutes to go through the transcript, do the tidy ups, and then approve the testimonial. Because at other points of sharing that video testimonial, that transcript may be used either as subtitles or in some cases, for example, with a sharing link, we actually have that text below. So try and get in the habit of doing those tidy ups, but we are working on making those transcripts better. So let me follow up with you on that when it's available to make that edit and it's more clear. But yes, it will be transcript. I just see what you mean. There's an excerpt field for the video thing, and I don't know if that's a bug or a quirk. I'd need to look into that. Do you like it, Annie?
Yes, I do. And I was actually writing you my response. I'm actually in the process for one of my clients importing hundreds of backlog videos. And so I've got an enormous volume. So just looking for any ways that I can like streamline that process. And I am finding a lot of things in the transcript I'd like to edit out.
Yes, I see. So, okay. So this, I believe I saw this question that you sent somewhere. It may have been in support or maybe in feature based, but basically you're asking about bulk uploading of video. There is a way to do that using a CSV file, but we'd need a link to the video. So are the videos on YouTube currently, or are they in a drive?
They're in Google Drive. So my client is just sending them to me in Google Drive. And she and her VAs have turned them all into MP4s, and I'm just taking whatever they're offloading onto me and uploading.
That's right.
It. Yeah.
Okay, so you can go to import, then manual. You would be doing one video at a time. I think that might feel like quite a lot for you. How many videos did you say it was? 500?
No, not that many. I think I've done probably half of them. So we're probably talking a couple hundred maybe. But what's really helpful for me doing them one at a time is that I'm also building all the sales pages, the emails, the funnel. By doing them one at a time, I get to know each customer. And I'm also completely learning all of the results that people like the most from the product, the comments that seem to resonate the most, what are the most common comments. So it's kind of good for me to do them one at a time because it's helping me build out all the rest of the sales material.
Honestly, I actually agree. I think it's really important to think of this as a more kind of a ritual that you want to go through that helps you familiarize yourself with the customers. Also, you can use the AI analysis feature. You want to tidy things up. It's incredible to have collected that many video testimonials. That is really impressive, but it's also important to know what they are, what offers they're for, and think more intentionally about when to share them. And I love that you're doing it like that. So it may feel a bit more painful, doing them one by one, but the massive upside is just really having a strong understanding of the proof that you've got and where you can use it to drive more sales. If you want, drop me another note and we'll continue this discussion around like how to use them. But I highly recommend using the tagging system to group them by offer, maybe group them by talking point, or just things that can be useful later. The other thing is definitely go to the AI analysis and run an analysis on them. And finally, of course, you can send the thank you videos for the more recently submitted things. So maybe they can come in and do that, or maybe not. It depends on how you feel about that. But it can be a really nice way to close the loop, or maybe send a follow-up request. So it might be like, thank you so much for this testimonial. I would also love it if you would join my partnership program so that, you can keep it going. So a lot of work, but it's actually so impressive that someone collected that many testimonials, and when they're being used, they're going to help make a lot more money by driving higher conversion, I think.
That's our goal. And for what it's worth, I agree with importing them manually. And for anybody who's on here and they're building their account out, the other thing that has been really super helpful is, you mentioned it, I built out for this client, the entire tagging system. So I have a really nicely built tagging system that has all the features, the focus, the places I'm going to use it. So by putting them in one at a time, I also built up that tagging system at the same time. Just extra tip for anybody who would find that helpful.
I love that. And actually, if you want, because we're always keen to showcase some of what our customers are doing within our marketing, if you're able to, we may even be able to like cover that in one of our upcoming emails, because it depends on whether or not your client is happy with that, but definitely sharing that insight is something I'd love to do. The thing about tagging is it's kind of laborious in the moment. You're going through and you're having to reflect on the testimonial. It is amazing afterwards at the point of sharing, especially if you're pulling something from the Chrome extension in social DMs, or you're curating a widget to go somewhere, because you can be so much more intentional about which testimonial you put where. And that is the big driver of increasing sales. As an example, testimonials near call to actions, you want to focus on outcomes. Testimonials that talk about objections, you can use further down the page to at a point where the customer is kind of like getting into the weeds a bit, and you can have testimonials that talk about, I was worried about this, or I wasn't sure about that. They are perfect for helping people address objections. So different testimonials for different parts of the page, and that is something we will definitely talk about in future webinars. It's like when and where to use different testimonials to drive extra sales.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds like you're doing a great job.
Thank you. And I'm happy to share, and I think that my client would too, because our goal is to have thousands and thousands of testimonials. So we're building this out now for future growth so that it'll all work and be automated very quickly. So thank you for your tips and pointers. I appreciate that.
No worries. Thank you for your support. Reginald said, I have the first level paid account, that's starter. I have interns. Would it be possible for that plan to have at least 2 team members instead of 1? So historically, the starter plan had no team members, and we added one on because of this use case of someone being a VA or an ops person for the account owner. I think if you were to drop me a note with if you just call it town hall onto the support email, I can just manually add another one, because this use case is the reason we added that. We aren't always trying to make more money for everything. We just felt like a lot of people are having their intern, their VA, their exec, or their ops person. So it is possible to do that. The other option is you can share it. We don't restrict that. I'm not saying in future we won't, but right now you can use one email and have multiple people log on. I would probably prefer it if you use different people, because we want to know who's doing what in the account, Reginald. So just drop me an email and I'll add an extra seat there for you.
Hey, Ollie, how do I drop the email to you?
If you just send it to, hey, it's so fun when people come on the voice, right? So just send it to support@senja.io. And I'll look out for it today. If you just say like your account email, I'm sure I can work it out, but just put it there or I'll miss it. Any other questions about how best to use the account? I guess I've just absolutely nailed it.
You crushed it today. Well, you
I
guys
really
know,
enjoyed it, actually.
Yeah, today was a great call. And you guys know, like, I mean, we're both available. So any questions that you have as you marinate on today's call, reach out to Ollie directly, support@senja.io. If you have affiliate questions, you can email me at partners@senja.io. And then, of course, as you continue to play with these new features, like, please let us know if you encounter any bugs or things where you're like, oh, hey, this would be so cool. Like, I saw someone in the chat. Let me scroll back up. Someone made a joke about replacing Strategic Nick made a joke about replacing M dashes with regular dashes, which is a call to like what ChatGPT is doing. So,
yes.
Any fun things like that, we're all ears. Okay, before we wrap up, Ollie, any final notes, comments, things you want to make sure to mention?
Just look out for more content like this. I do fundamentally believe that the opportunity is to really capture what makes your business great. We want to help you do that. That's basically what we're about. It is amazing to see people who put their heart and soul into their business actually win by capturing those stories. Don't be the one that's doing that and isn't capturing those stories. With me and Sarah are going to give you so much more advice over the next few months on how to do that really effectively. The product and the business is a work in progress, but all of the feedback it is so critical to like getting us where we want to be and building the product that we want to build. So thank you so much for the people that attended and their contribution, the questions. It's actually amazing, honestly, that people come in and share their thoughts. So just a big thank you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And to that note, we have some upcoming events that I want to make sure that I share with you guys. So first and foremost, we do office hours bi-weekly, so every other Monday. So this coming Monday, it's really a time for you to learn about different ways to use Senja. We cover, if there's new features, we talk about, helpful tips. One thing that Annie brought up was about tagging, right? So that was actually something that we went over in office hours, I think 2 office hours ago, is like, what is the strategy behind creating your tags? How do you create your tags? And then from that, once you're creating, walls of love and different widgets, grouping that and doing custom folders within your widgets to make sure that you can group things correctly and find the ones that you've created. So those are the type of things we go over in office hours. It's a good time. It's always a nice little group that, it's open dialogue. But then also we have some other upcoming events. We're doing a webinar series monthly. We bring in an affiliate of Senja to teach you how they're using Senja. So the next one's going to be, I believe, August 6th. That's always the first Wednesday of the month. And then of course, and to that point, to come to events, scan this QR code. It goes to our calendar on Luma. So you can just RSVP to anything that meets your schedule. I record everything and send it out afterwards. So even if there's something where like, man, I have a conflict, but I wish I could be there, we send out the recording. So it's totally okay if you miss it. But then the last thing I'm going to mention is I've been working really hard to rebuild Senja's affiliate program. And I really want to craft and curate a beautiful community of partnership here, not just like this random link you send out to your audience, but really create a community that you show that you're proud to be a part of Senja. So if you're not already an affiliate and you want to make some extra money, we do 30% on all commissions on Senja. But then we also have these really cool challenges and additional ways to earn extra revenue through us by promoting Senja even more. So scan that QR code, join the affiliate program. I manage all that. I accept it. So, it's really cool to see when people come to a call like this and then, dive even further into being part of our community. And Strategic Nick said, how do I stand out in the application? The biggest thing for us, and Ollie, feel free to jump in if you want to, but the biggest thing for us is you're already using Senja. That's a huge piece that stands out to us when we look at, your website or your social media to see like, okay, they're actually already showing Senja to their audience. That's an automatic given. Like you should have been earning money with us, months or years ago. But then the other thing is just that you have an audience that, Senja matches, right? Whether we talked about this in last week's, affiliate webinar about offboarding, right? You have easy ways to actually showcase Senja, whether it's through a course, a product, a service. You're not just, a random directory on the internet, which I don't think anyone in this call is. So there's really like no strategy thing that you need to include, but really just, that you're excited to show Senja, and that maybe even if you have an idea of an upcoming, campaign or series that you want to promote Senja in, make sure that you mention that, because I see all of that data, which means I can follow up with you directly and say, okay, you're going to do this. Like maybe there's a way for us to sponsor that content in a different way as well. So Ollie, anything to add to that?
No, I think that covers it. Definitely the most important point is to share how you use it. These are the types of stories that really engage most audiences, is just how you're using a product and how you're having success with it. We're really into that because we don't really want people championing us if they don't love what we do. So share how you use it, how it helps you, and if it's not helping you, talk to us and we'll make sure it does.
And if you're following along with the rebuild of the affiliate program, currently working on rebuilding assets and all of these things. So stay in tune with that anyway, because we have a lot of really cool things that we're going to be releasing over the next couple of months to make promoting Senja even better. And I did want to actually touch on that really fast. Let me scroll back up. So Puni mentioned that they are new to Senja and asking for an intro video series on how to use Senja even more, specifically embedding into Squarespace. So that is very much on Ollie and I's radar, is working on a new user course sequence, just to like make it easier. We hear from you guys all the time that, this is great. We love Senja, but there's so much overwhelm in getting your testimonials into Senja from when you first start an account. And so how do we make that easier for you guys? How do we reduce that friction? And that is coming out, in the next month or two. So definitely stay tuned for that. But there is definitely help in our knowledge base for how to do different things like embedding your widgets and things, regardless of what platform you're on. It's very easy to do. All you need is that HTML Java code. So if you ever need support on that, please let us know. Do not hesitate to reach out, and we will definitely get you the support you need. And with that, we are at time, guys. So I haven't seen any other questions come through the chat. So if you have any other questions, please email us support@senja.io, reach out to us on socials, and we will see you in our next call, which is Monday for office hours.
Amazing. Thank you, everyone. And thanks, Sarah, for your hard work. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I will see you guys all very